Alrighty, folks, I got to give a big shout out to all of you Gold Club members out there from my premium page because you guys cashed in on 5 more premium selections yesterday. We had the Commanders, Falcons, Chargers, Dolphins +7, and we also had the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA. And I'll tell you what, if you unfortunately missed out on those winners yesterday, the only way you could have cashed in on all of those winning plays is to join my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club. Of course, Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Monday, November 4th, 2024. Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you had a great weekend. We have been very busy in the office here today. We got a lot of sports going on here today with college basketball and a full slate of NBA. But anyway, if you are joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And folks, we are currently 5-0 in our last 5 underdog tier package plays on my premium page. And the good news is I've got another underdog tier package play going off here today. I'm also 2-0 my last couple of NBA premium package picks as well. And both of those memberships are included with your Gold Club package. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Bucks at the Cavaliers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Cleveland's -6.5 at home, totals 231. Now, Cleveland's undefeated on the season. They're 7-0 straight up. They're also perfect against the point spread. Meanwhile, Milwaukee just 1-5 straight up, 1-5 against the number. The Bucks are currently the worst free throw shooting team in the East. They're actually second worst in the entire league in shooting from three land. And they're facing a Cleveland squad who actually allows just 108 points a game, doing a great job on defense. They're actually 5th in defensive rebounds. Donovan Mitchell leads the roster in steals, club leader in points. And Jared Allen's got the 2nd most blocks on the team, 1st in rebounds. Now, injury-wise, Tyson and Strus are out for Cleveland. Karis LeVert is day-to-day. Meanwhile, for the Bucks, Connaughton and Giannis are questionable. Beauchamp and Middleton are still out. Milwaukee's last 4 straight games all stayed under the total. Meanwhile, Cleveland saw unders recently against the likes of the Knicks, Detroit, and this very Milwaukee team. Give me Cleveland -6.5, under 231. Next game, Warriors-Wizards, 7:15 East. Golden State's -10.5, totals 230 and a hook. We saw a 1-point move toward the Warriors in this one, open 9.5. And as good as the Warriors have been on defense, they really haven't been all that great underneath the basket. These guys are in the bottom 10 in defensive boards. They're also facing a Washington club who's had little problems getting on the scoreboard. They're a top 10 point producing team, 1st in shooting from the foul line. Jordan Poole's drilling over 94% of his foul shots, club leader in scoring. And Bilal Coulibaly, he's 2nd on the roster in points, 47% shooting from beyond the arc. Now Kuzma, Bey, and Brogdon are still out for Washington. Bagley's day-to-day. Meanwhile, for the Warriors on the other side, Wiggins and Curry are questionable. Melton's out. Now, 2 out of the Warriors' last 3 ball games did get over the total. Overs against the likes of the Rockets and Pelicans. Meanwhile, Washington saw 3 out of their last 4 get over the total themselves. Give me Washington +10.5, over 230 and a hook. Next game, Lakers-Pistons, 7:30 Eastern start time. The Lakers are -7.5, totals 228. Saw a 1-point move toward the Lakers in this one, opened 6.5. Now, the Lakers did fail to cover in their last 2 games. Defense has been sluggish over the past week or so. The Lakers are allowed 122 points a game on average in their last 5 contests. And their opponents are making just about 50% of their field goals against them. They're 2nd to last in defensive field goal percentage. And they're facing a Detroit squad who successfully covered in 4 out of their last 5. Covers against the likes of the Nets, Sixers, Heat, and Celtics. Cade Cunningham leads the lineup in points, 40% shooting from three-land. And Tim Hardaway Jr., he's drilling nearly 50% of his attempts from beyond the arc. Now, Klintman and Thompson are day-to-day. Actually could see one of those guys return here tonight. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, Russell Davis and Reeves are questionable. Wood and Vanderbilt are still out. 4 out of the Lakers' last 5 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Detroit saw overs against the likes of the Knicks and Celtics. Give me the Pistons plus 7.5, over 228. Next matchup, Celtics-Hawks, 7:45 East. Boston's minus 10.5, totals 234. Now, the Celtics did fail to cover in 3 out of their last 5. Failures to cover against the likes of Charlotte, Indiana, and Detroit. And when it comes to defensive play, the Celtics are in the bottom 10 in field goals allowed. And they're facing an Atlanta squad who's scoring over 118 points a night themselves. They're second in free throws. Trae Young, he's drilling over 90% of his free throws himself. Team leader in scoring and assists. And Garrison Matthews, he's knocking down over 51% of his long balls. Now, injury-wise, Okongwu and Hunter are questionable. Krejci, Bufkin, and Bogey are out. Atlanta saw all of their contests this season get over the posted total. Meanwhile, Boston saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the line themselves. Give me Atlanta plus 10.5, over 234. Next game, Grizzlies-Nets, 8 o'clock East. Memphis is minus 4.5, totals 225 and a hook. We saw a 1-point fade of the Grizzlies, open 5.5. Memphis got the W in their last 2 straight. Offenses look solid for the most part. They're making nearly 50% of their field goals, and they rank 6th in scoring. Jay Huff is drilling 55% of his long balls, 11 points a game off the bench. And Jaren Jackson leads the program in points per game. And they're facing a Brooklyn squad who just puts way too many people to the foul line. They're allowing more free throws a game than any other team. And no real surprise here, folks. They're in the bottom 5 in defensive field goal percentage. Now, injury-wise, Watford and Bogey are questionable. Sharp's still out. Meanwhile, Concher is questionable for Memphis. Kennard, Smart, Bain, Williams, and Jackson, they're inactive. Now, total-wise, the Grizzlies are 5-2 to the over this season. Brooklyn's 4-3 to the over themselves. Give me the Grizzlies minus 4.5, over 225 and a hook. Next game, Kings Heat, 8:15 Eastern start time. Miami's minus 1.5, and there we go. Yeah, Kings Heat, 8:15 East. Miami's minus 1.5, totals 224 and a hook. Saw a 1-point fade of the Heat, open 2.5. Miami's 27th in field goals, bottom 5 in free throw percentage. No real surprise here, folks. The Heat's averaging only 108 points a game. They're facing a Sacramento club who won 3 out of their last 4. They're facing a Sacramento club who won 3 out of their last 4. The Kings actually rank 4th in the league in takeaways. De'Aaron Fox leads the team in steals. Domantas Sabonis has the most boards. Now, Herter and Robinson are day-to-day. Carter's out. Meanwhile, for the Heat on the other side, Robinson and Love are questionable for them. 3 out of Miami's last 4 ball games did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Sacramento saw unders against the likes of Utah and Portland. Give me Sacramento plus 1.5, under 224 and a hook. Next game, Jazz Bulls, 8:30 p.m. East. Chicago's minus 7, totals 228. Saw a 0.5 point move toward the Bulls in this one, open 6.5. Chicago's 3-3 straight up, 3-3 against the point spread. Utah winless on the season, 2-4 against the number. Now, Utah is the worst field goal shooting team in the game. They're making only 39% of their field goals, dead last in field goals made. And no real surprise here, folks. They're dead last in three-pointers made as well. 28% shooting from downtown. And they're facing a Chicago team who actually leads the league in defensive three-point percentage. These guys are limiting their competition to a league-low 29% shooting from beyond the arc. Nikola Vucevic leads the roster in blocks and boards. Kobe White has the most steals. When it comes to the injury list, Ball's out for Chicago. Clarkson, Markkanen, and Colley are questionable for Utah. Now, the Jazz saw 4 out of their last 5 stay under the total. Meanwhile, Chicago saw unders recently against the likes of the Magic and Thunder. Give me Chicago -7, under 228. Next game, Knicks, Rockets, 8:45 East. Houston's -1, totals 217. The Rockets are 3-3 straight up, 3-3 against the point spread. New York 3-2 straight up, 3-2 against the number. The Knicks did win 3 out of their last 4 ball games. They were pretty crisp defensively in those contests. When it comes to shooting the basketball, this is currently the best three-point shooting team in the game. They currently lead the league in offensive three-point percentage, second in shooting from the field. Jalen Brunson's drilling 50% of his long balls, 25 points a night. And Karl Anthony Towns, he's making 64% of his three-pointers, second on the roster in scoring. Now, injury-wise, Achua and Robinson are out for New York. Adams day-to-day for Houston. The Rockets did see overs recently against the likes of Golden State and Memphis. Meanwhile, New York saw their last 2 straight get over the total themselves. Give me the Knicks +1, over 217. Next game, Hornets, Timberwolves, 9 o'clock East. Minnesota's -10.5, totals 226. Minnesota is 3-3 straight up, 1-5 against the point spread. As a matter of fact, for a team laying double digits in this spot here, Minnesota's failed to cover in their last 4 straight games. They actually allowed over 116 points a night during that span, throwing out that Toronto game. They're also in the bottom. They're also one of the worst in the league in takeaways, and they're facing a Charlotte club who definitely shoots it well from long range. These guys make more three-pointers a game than any other team besides one. LaMelo Ball makes 40% of his deep balls, 30 points a game on average. And Trey Mann's drilling over 44% of his attempts from three land himself. Now, injury-wise, Richards, Curry, and Jeffries are day-to-day. Williams is out. 3 out of the Hornets' last 5 ball games did get over the total. Minnesota went for them under the over in their last 5 themselves. Give me Charlotte +10.5, over 226. Next game, Magic, Thunder, 9:15 East. OKC is -12.5, totals 215 on a hook. 1-point move toward the Thunder. They opened 11.5. OKC 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the point spread. Orlando 3-4 straight up, 2-5 against the number. As a matter of fact, the Magic failed to cover in their last 5 straight. They really sucked offensively during that stretch. They averaged just 104 points a game during that span. And when it comes to shooting the basketball, they are 24th in field goals made. And they're facing an OKC squad who plays some very tough defense themselves. They actually average more takeaways per game than any other team. And no real surprise here, folks. They're allowing a league-low 97 points a game. Chet Holmgren leads the lineup in blocks. Alex Caruso has the second most steals. Now, injury-wise, Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein are out for OKC. Banchero still inactive for the Magic. Orlando did see unders recently against the likes of Dallas and Chicago. Meanwhile, OKC saw 4 out of their last 6 stay under the total themselves. Give me OKC -12.5, under 215 on a hook. Next matchup, Blazers, Pelicans, 9:30 p.m. East. The Pels are -3, totals 221. We saw a 0.5 point move toward the Pels, open 2.5. New Orleans just 3-4 straight up, 2-5 against the point spread. Portland 2-5 straight up, but they are 5-2 against the point spread. They've been pretty good against the number. As a matter of fact, the Blazers successfully covered in 5 out of their last 6 ball games. They're in the top 10 in the league in blocks. Grant and Klingon lead the roster in blocks. Kamara's got the most steals. And they're facing a Pelicans club who failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 themselves. They're in the bottom 10 in point production. And when it comes to the injury list, Zion Williamson is questionable for the Pels. McCollum, Jones, Murray, and Murphy are out. Meanwhile, for Portland on the other side, Sharp and Thibault are still out for them. Williams day-to-day. 3 out of the Blazers' last 4 did fall under the total. Meanwhile, the Pelicans saw unders recently against the likes of Golden State and this very Portland team. Give me the Blazers +3, under 221. Next contest, Pacers, Mavericks, 9:45 East. Dallas is -5, totals 237. The Mavs failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5. Just 104 points a game they averaged in those failures. And aside from being a bottom 10 point producing team, Mavericks have also had their issues at the stripe. They're making fewer free throws a game than any other team except for one. They're facing a Pacer club who definitely likes to contest shots. They're in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. They're also limiting their competition to just 32% shooting from three-land. Tyrese Halliburton leads the organization in steals. Miles Turner has the most blocks. When it comes to the injury list, Nembhard and Nesmith are questionable. Wiseman and Jackson are out. Meanwhile, for Dallas on the other side, Exum's out. Kleba's day-to-day. 4 out of Dallas's last 5 ball games did stay under the total. While the Pacers saw unders against the likes of New York and Detroit. Give me Indiana +5, under 237. Next contest, Raptors, Nuggets, 10 o'clock East. Denver is laying 10, totals 231. 1.5 point move toward the Nuggets, opened 8.5. Denver 3-3 straight up, 2-4 against the point spread. Now Toronto on the other side, just 2-5 straight up, but they're 6-1 against the number. Nearly perfect this year against the point spread. They've been cash cows. I can't imagine a lot of people have been backing them, but you should, because they would have won you a bunch of money. Now, the Raptors, offensively, they just keep chalking it up. They like to shoot. They're making more field goals a game than any other roster besides one. As a matter of fact, the Raptors are currently a top 5 point scoring team. RJ Barrett's dropping 28 a game and makes 46% of his long balls. And Grady Dick, second on the roster in points. And they're facing a Denver squad who actually allowed 122 points a game on average in their last 4 contests. As a matter of fact, the Nuggets are currently 23rd in field goals allowed. Now, injury-wise, Gordon and Cancer are questionable. Murray's out. Meanwhile, for Toronto on the other side, Quickly's questionable for them. Olynyk, Barnes, and Brown, they are inactive. Now, total-wise, the Raptors saw all of their games this year get over the total except for one. Meanwhile, Denver saw their last 4 straight get over the total themselves. Give me Toronto +10, over 231. Next game, Sixers, Suns, 10:15 East. Phoenix is -6.5, totals 223 and a hook. Now, the Suns are 5-1 straight up on the year, 8-2 straight up in their last 10 meetings with the Sixers. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Of course, as far as this season's concerned, Phoenix is currently 6th in defensive field goal percentage. Kevin Durant leads the program in blocks. Jones and Beal have the most steals. And they're facing a pretty pitiful Sixers team who has just 1 win on this season, second to last in field goals. When it comes to shooting the 3 ball, they actually have the 2nd worst 3-point percentage in the entire NBA. Now, injury-wise, Embiid's out. George is questionable. And when it comes to the total, 3 out of the Suns' last 4 ball games did fall under the number. Unders against the likes of Portland, the Lakers, and the Mavericks. Now, they also went 4-1 to the under in their last 5 gatherings with Philadelphia. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Give me the Suns -6.5, under 223 and a hook. And with that, folks, and now it is time for our next and final breakdown for the video. Going to be in that Spurs-Clippers game. That'll be a 10:30 Eastern start. The Clippers are -4.5, totals 215. We did see a 1-point move toward the Clippers in this one, open 3.5. Now the Clippers are 2-4 straight up, 3-3 against the point spread. San Antonio 3-3 straight up, 4-2 against the number. As a matter of fact, the Spurs covered in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. They are 3rd in the league right now in points allowed. No real surprise here, folks. The Spurs are limiting their opponents to just 42% shooting from the field. Victor Wembanyama, he's got the most blocks and rebounds. Chris Paul's got a handful of steals. And they're facing a Clipper team who's on a 3-game skid themselves, 24th in points per game. And when it comes to shooting from the foul line, these guys are in the bottom 3 in free throw percentage. Now, injury-wise, Tucker and Bamba are questionable. Leonard's out. Meanwhile, for the Spurs, Vassal's day-to-day. Jones is inactive. San Antonio went 4-1 to the under in their last 5. Meanwhile, LA saw 4 out of their last 5 stay under the line themselves. Give me the Spurs plus 4.5, under 215. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Cavaliers minus 6.5, under 231. Washington plus 10.5, over 230 and a hook. I'm 5-0. My last 5 underdog package plays on my premium site. Give me Detroit plus 7.5, over 228. Atlanta plus 10.5, over 234. Memphis minus 4.5, over 225 and a hook. Sacramento plus 1.5, under 224 and a hook. Chicago minus 7, under 228. New York plus 1, over 217. Charlotte plus 10.5, over 226. OKC minus 12.5, under 215 and a hook. Portland plus 3, under 221. Pacers plus 5, under 237. Raptors plus 10, over 231. Suns minus 6.5, under 223 and a hook. Give me the Spurs plus 4.5, under 215. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly final reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site.